Hello and welcome to Travel Banana, home to all things mindful, digital, and nomadic. And today I'm going to break it down for you how to travel the world on a budget. So there's a common misconception that world travel has to be very expensive. It's only for rich people. And that's not true. Travel can be quite affordable. And depending on where you go, where you stay, and how you budget, travel can actually be much cheaper than if you are just to stay in your hometown. Let's break it down. So first, very important is you have to choose your city and country that you want to travel to. And this is going to play a big role in how much money you're spending. So a good website for this is nomadlist.com. So they've got a whole list of the most popular destinations for digital nomads with sort of the estimated monthly spending you'll need. They've even got Wi-Fi speed, weather, and what I find about these prices is they're not necessarily accurate. For example, Bangkok, I think it says $2,209 a month, but really you can live a lot on a lot less than that. I've lived there before for under $1,000 per month. And yeah, so pick the city, choose a city. So let's go with the most popular option, Bangkok, Thailand. Let's check it out. So we picked our destination. Next, let's go on over to our flight. So Skyscanner is a great place for this. You can search flights by month. So this is the entire month of April. Looks like the cheapest flight is on a Wednesday for $469. So let's check that one out. All right, and there we go. We got from LA to Bangkok, $468, which is a pretty good deal. So it's good to be flexible with the dates so you can find a cheaper flight. 19-hour flight, one stop in Taiwan, and you're good to go. You just gotta check up on the visas. Depending on the country you go to, there's different visa requirements. Sometimes you have to apply beforehand. Sometimes you just show up at the airport and get the visa. And the length of the visa is different too, depending on the country. So for example, Thailand, I believe it's 90 days or 60 days, and you might have to renew it another 30 days. But yeah, basically most countries tend to be around 90 days. In South America, some countries are even up to 6 months on a tourist visa, so just fly there and you're good to stay for 6 months. So not a bad deal. And then just be careful with, sometimes at immigration they may ask for proof of onward travel, so a return ticket or a ticket to another country. So for this, you just have to research on Google for this to see the requirements. And then next we've got our accommodation. So where are we gonna stay? For this we have roughly 3 options for accommodation. We have my favorite one first, which is Airbnb. Airbnb is great. You can just filter out by price. So let's say maximum we want to spend like $350, around $350, and look at that, we got all these places, $300, $250, really affordable. And these are like entire apartments too, like this one, $292. Not the best apartment, but it's your own apartment. Oh yeah, that's a pretty small one, but yeah, I mean, it's up to you. Depends on your preference. And another option is staying at a hostel. So, Airbnb is great, but it can be a little lonely if you're traveling by yourself and you're just living alone. So if you're a more social person, you like to meet new people, hang out, party, maybe Hostel World might be a better option for you. You can find rooms like $16 a night, $10 a night, and yeah, this is a much better option for kind of meeting fellow travelers, going out and being more social. Although the crowd might be a little younger, might be a little more into the party scene, so it might be a little difficult to stay there for 3 months. And then another option, which I have not tried yet, is co-living spaces. So these are more geared towards digital nomads, people working remotely, and kind of more of an older crowd. So you're basically living, and they have a co-working space where people can work online. You can sort of network, meet with people, see what they're up to, and this is something I'm pretty interested in. I've heard good things about co-living spaces, so yeah, definitely want to check one out sometime in the future. So yeah, then once you finish your accommodation, you're pretty much good to go. And then, you know, depending on your budget, say you're kind of on the lower end of the budget, but you want to extend your travel as much as possible, well, some great options for this are to volunteer. So there's, you know, 3 volunteer programs I'd recommend. One is WOOF. So for these, you're volunteering to work on a farm. For this, you usually get free housing, free food, but you do have to work on a farm. So if you're not really into manual labor, probably wouldn't recommend that. So another option, Workaway. These have more options. They include farms, but can also be sort of volunteer opportunities, homestays, teaching, pretty much anything. If you have some sort of skill, you can help out. And yeah, these are pretty cool. You know, I've had good experiences with Workaway and Woof. And then there's also World Packers, another volunteer. You can work for NGOs, holistic centers, guest houses, camping, schools, all kinds of stuff. And these have sort of opportunities all around the world. And yeah, so and you don't really have to spend any money when you're doing those because you get the food included and the accommodation. So it's great. So maybe you do 1 month in an Airbnb, 1 month doing a volunteer exchange program, and you know, you can really stretch out your money that way and make traveling super cheap. But the one catch is that for these programs, there's usually an annual fee you have to pay. It's like $40 or $50 for that. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, so it just depends on what you want to do. You can kind of just spend the whole month just traveling, just living, not working at all. You can do some online work a little bit. Some easy to start options are sort of freelancing online, teaching. Some more advanced option would be to start your own online business, to find a remote job, you know, find a company to work for remotely. But yeah, it's just about like your preference really, how much you can manage, how long you want to do this for, what your budget is. And you know, to begin, you just gotta, you know, generate some savings before you start this, probably at least a few thousand. Yeah, you know, you just gotta put in the work, live below your means for a while, maybe live with family, sleep on couches, live in your car. And you know, just put in the work for a few months or a year, and then you know, get that savings, and then off you go for a few months, 6 months, a year maybe, traveling multiple countries. So here's a very rough estimate comparison of Bangkok versus Los Angeles. So yeah, Bangkok probably around $2,500 to $6,100 per month. Can be even cheaper if you're doing a volunteer program while you're there for a month or so. And yeah, if you're coming from an expensive city like Los Angeles, you figure rent, probably you're spending about $1,000 to $3,000 a month just for rent. And then you've got food. With the current inflation prices, it's pretty crazy at the grocery store. So looking at like $400 to $1,000 a month in food. So over 3 months, yeah, much more expensive. And that's not even including gas, the car insurance, car payments, health insurance. Because if you're living in Los Angeles, chances are you probably need a car. Public transportation is not great in the US, while in Thailand, public transportation is actually great. There's buses that go everywhere in the country, really cheap. There's a metro system in Bangkok that works really well. Taxis are cheap, motorbikes are cheap, and yeah, it's just generally easy to get around. So I hope this video helps. Hope this inspires you to travel somewhere, because it's not that expensive if you choose the right location and plan, and especially if you're coming from an expensive city to begin with. So thanks for watching. Hope you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.